former President Trump putting a month-long pause on some tariffs on goods from Mexico and Canada, covered by the USMCA treaty. This after a phone call with the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum, and negotiations with Canadian officials. I spoke with the president in a Fox Business exclusive yesterday at the White House. He told me his reasoning on the pause and his plans for future actions on tariffs. You spoke to the president of Mexico today. I want to talk about tariffs because even as you're seeing this optimism and excitement, there's some nervousness over your tariffs. Markets have been selling off. People are not sure how to view it. Why did you roll back or put a pause into some of the tariffs until April 2nd?
Because I wanted to help Mexico and Canada to a certain extent. We're a big country, and they do a lot of their business with us, whereas in our case, it's much less significant. We do very little with Canada by comparison. And I wanted to help the American car makers until April 2nd. April 2nd, it becomes all reciprocal. What they charge us, we charge them. It's a big deal, but what they charge us, we charge them. But this is short term, and I felt that for the good of the American car makers and the MCA, you know, the USMCA, that's Mexico, Canada. I thought it would be a fair thing to do, and so I gave them a little bit of a break for this short period of time.
But I asked you about this before, and I know you told me when I asked you, I said, you did use MCA, you put this together.
Yeah.
And yet then you come back and you change it up with these tariffs, and you said to me at that time, I did it because I can. I put an amendment in there, and I said in 6 years I can change it. But I think CEOs want to see predictability. They say, look, I have to speak with shareholders. I've got to make plans for CapEx spending. I can't if it's 20% one day and then it's off for a month and it's 25%.
Yeah.
So can you give us a sense of whether or not we are going to get clarity for the business community?
Well, I think so. But, you know, the tariffs could go up as time goes by, and they may go up. And, you know, I don't know if it's predictability. I think
so that's not clarity?
No, I think that they say that. You know, it sounds good to say. But for years, the globalists, the big globalists, have been ripping off the United States. They've been taking money away from the United States. And all we're doing is getting some of it back. And we're going to treat our country fairly. This country has been ripped off from every nation in the world, every company outside in the world. We've been ripped off at levels never seen before. And all we're going to do is get it back. We're going to get a lot of it back. We're not going to let people take advantage of us anymore.
All right, let's talk about it. John Lonsky, markets have been uneasy about these tariffs, but I think once we understand where things are going, companies will adjust. You're already seeing an increasing number of companies say we are going to produce in America. It takes time, a couple of years to fire up a manufacturing plant, but at the end of the day, that's what President Trump is trying to do.
You're exactly right, Maria. And it's going to take time. It's going to be costly to go ahead and try to establish a level playing field in international trade, as well as using tariffs so that we can be assured of having adequate production capacity in the event of a national emergency. There's also that national security aspect of what Trump is doing. I do like the fact that Trump is showing flexibility as far as the timing of the imposition of tariffs is concerned. My sense is that Donald Trump is a champion of common sense. And as a result, Trump views tariffs more as a negotiating tool as opposed to an end in and of itself.
Yep, it's true. What do you think? I mean, Tiffany.
Yeah, you know, he clearly uses tariffs as a negotiating tool, which works for America in the long term. And he is simply delivering on the promises that he made throughout his campaign. You know, the priority was to secure our border, not just our southern border, but our northern border. So he's leveling the playing field and bringing in Canada, bringing in Mexico to help secure our borders and take part in stopping fentanyl, take part from Chinese nationals. You know, there was 1,000 Chinese nationals coming across our northern border in 2024 for 5 months straight. So President Trump is committed to securing and protecting the American people, and this just shows his priorities and how he continues to deliver.
Yeah, there will be a 25% tariff on steel and aluminum. still coming, expected next week, actually. Now, I was in the Oval Office yesterday as President Trump signed several executive orders, including one honoring American women. The president surprised me with some kind words and a shout-out. Watch this.
Two very special proclamations, the first of which is a proclamation that proclaims March 2025 as Women's History Month in honor of all the wonderful women in your administration, all the wonderful women in America, and in honor of everything you've done for women and this administration has done for women in just, what, a month and a half? So.
Yeah, we've done a lot. And women have done a lot for us, right? This is an honor. We have a wonderful woman here, Maria Bartiromo.
Thank you so much.
Nice to have you, Maria.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, and thanks for all that you're doing for women.
Thank you.
Oh, boy, that was exciting being there in the Oval Office. You've got to see how incredible it is, Tiffany, when the president lets the press in to start asking questions. The room gets packed, and they're just, like, throwing questions at him. I mean, it's become a daily thing with the president answering questions and signing these executive orders. That's why they call it the most transparent administration. Can you imagine if we didn't see that once in the last 4 years?
No, we didn't.
Before President Trump entered the Oval Office for the second time.
It's amazing to watch, Maria, and I'm so grateful for the words that he said about you. They're well-deserved, and as women, we stand on each other's shoulders. As a small-town farm girl, it's really amazing what you can accomplish here in this country, and you are living proof of that, Maria. Well-deserved, and it is amazing. I have stood in the Oval Office with President Trump in 2017, and I will never forget that moment.
It's true. It's very special, and I was so grateful that the president did call me out. John.
Yeah, that's right. It's well-deserved, as Tiffany said. He's very transparent. And I think, you know, in terms of clarity on the trade issue, he might have a better time selling the tariff issue to markets, to the general public, if when, you know, regarding reciprocity, he explains to people in detail certain major products where U.S. exports are treated very unfairly in foreign markets, whereas we have, you know, we're much more open, to allowing imports of these same products into the United States. It could be like light trucks that supposedly face very high tariffs as far as Europe is concerned when they're exported from the United States, whereas we have much lower tariffs on motor vehicles that are produced in Europe that come into the United States.
Absolutely. We've got more of my exclusive interview with President Trump. He also surprised me with some news on Iran. We will talk about that coming up. Catch the full interview on Sunday Morning Futures on Fox News, live at 10 a.m. Eastern.